All right, Kevin, thanks for sending along those videos, man. Hope you're doing well. Things are good here. Got done with morning practice today and just got back to the Gracie Mack Performance Golf Center here, thanks to you. And figured I would send you a quick video to talk a little bit about your golf swing. So, first of all, golf swing looks pretty good to me. You know, obviously you sent the 3 swings to me in what I assume is your little studio there, which looks really nice. You know, looked like you had 2 good shots and 1 bad one to my eye. So, want to talk a little bit about a few of the things that I noted that I think are areas for potential improvement for you. First thing that jumped out to me, and I'd say it's really not a radical error or mistake. I wouldn't exactly describe it as such. What I would describe the things that I'm going to talk about today as are areas for improvement. Places that you can do what you're doing, but I think just a little bit better. And that's not like coach speak either. I'm just saying like the general shape of what your golf swing looks like, I think is pretty good. But I think you're just not maximizing what you could potentially do with it. 1, in terms of distance, and then 2, in terms of accuracy. So one of the areas I think you definitely could get a little bit cleaner with is just the arm structure look at the top of your golf swing. So when I watch, you know, where you get your golf club to, it's typically you're going to get that right elbow a little bit more flared than I like to see, and the club gets a tiny bit across the line. I really like to see, you know, it's a little cheesy, but that sort of like pizza pan position, right? With the elbow a little bit more vertical this way. And that's gonna help you from getting the club quite as far across the line. I don't know if that's something that you have done for a long time, or it's something that you feel maybe you start doing to maybe gain a little bit of distance, maybe get that hand travel to go a little bit longer. I know it's an area that some people look to try and get the ball to go a little bit further. But I think it causes, when you get your elbow a little bit more flared than you might like, club a little bit more across the line, I think then when you start down, the club's a little bit steep. You then have to hold on just a little bit and kind of point that to. I think you're probably not able to kind of release the club as freely as I might like. And that goes into another point, basically. These 2 things are a little bit related. So what I see a little bit with your backswing as well is that there's not enough coil in it. We certainly see you making a pretty okay turn, or your arm is getting deep, your chest is turning back this way in your backside, but there's not much like spring or tension being created there. It's really kind of just moving your body back and moving your body through. My preference is to see a little bit more of a coiling. So what I would ideally like to see is your right knee and right leg actually very slightly straighten while we're turning our hip back this way, as well as having our chest and shoulders kind of turn over this with a little bit of, I would almost describe as tension. For you, it really looks relaxed and loose and all kind of very one level. I want to see some coiling. You may even feel your chest rise slightly as your right hip turns behind you and your right leg straightens a little bit. And what that's going to do is just create a little bit more dynamic coil for you to then turn and release on the way through. If you'll forgive me for saying so, it doesn't look like your swing has as much speed and power as I think you're capable of generating when I take a look at it. It's smooth, it's got a good flow to it. There's lots of good things with it. Like I said, I'm not saying there's anything super wrong with it, but I think it's not as coiled, as power generating as what we really see most of the time now with the players that are playing their best in the modern game. So, so the couple things I would do to work on that are, in your little studio there, I might make a few swings just with one arm here. And our goal would be to feel this sort of pizza pan position as I'm describing here. Now what's important is that we don't just use our hand and arm to put that club in that position. I want you to feel like your arms and your chest are kind of connected. So oftentimes I'll ask people to put one hand on their right arm and elbow here, grab that, and turn your chest back there and get that right elbow more in that kind of vertical position here. Club should maybe feel like it's slightly laid off, or it doesn't have to get to laid off. I think probably getting it to basically straight down the line would be our goal here. And then from there, begin that club. And as you turn, you'll see that club falling slightly more in behind you there and shallowing just that little bit more. And then from there, it should give you a little bit more freedom to kind of dynamically turn through the ball, which I think is something you probably could benefit from. And so that's kind of the elbow position here. We'll just describe that as like arm structure. So yeah, let's leave it there. And then this kind of turn and coil piece, I do wish, to be honest with you, that I had a little bit of video from you from this angle, from face on. Because what we'd like to see here is a little bit of changing of our knee level, so that as you're getting into your backswing here, we're still going to feel like there's a nice load into our right side. I'm not saying you don't transfer your weight. Certainly we don't want to be sliding, but we want to feel like there's a nice coiling and almost feeling like your upper body is gonna very slightly rise up as we get here. And you'll feel, you can actually hear it probably in my voice, that my voice is changing as I'm coiling here. You'll feel a little bit of side bend stretch here, a little bit side bend stretch to kind of maximize your coil and turn there. And then from there, you'll be able to kind of turn and release. So those are the two areas of your golf swing that I would identify. The one thing I'll say about all that is it'll definitely slightly change how you'll feel through impact. Just because the club will be coming in a different position. I think if you do a good job first, I'd probably tackle maybe a little bit of this arm structure piece first. Try and get the right elbow a little more vertical, club a little bit more behind the line. Drop it slightly more there. From there, you should feel pretty free to make a nice turn through the ball. This kind of coiling piece, this rising up and straightening this back leg piece will be a little bit harder to tackle. And what typically I see happen for people is they tend to then start leaning a little bit too far this way. So just keep an eye on that, maybe by shooting yourself on video from this angle. But I think those are the two areas that I would attack first, man. Because like I said, the golf swing doesn't look too bad, but I think you'll find a little bit of power this way, and hopefully a little bit more, just like freedom to swing. I think, if you'll forgive me for saying so, your golf swings always look a little bit careful, and not as like free, ripping as I tend to like in the people that I work with. So anyway, man, hope you're doing well. Things are chugging along here. We're doing everything that we can with our new COVID world. So I would normally be masked up here in the facility, but I wanted to make sure that you could hear me clearly. And then we're doing practice a couple days a week and playing a lot of Duck Lake and Tomac as well. So thanks again for all your support, man. Hope you're doing well, and we'll catch up soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.